Hello everybody, this is 13 with Superior Mobile by 13, and today we have a 2017 Mustang! Woo! No crowds around here, so it's safe. I'm actually pretty excited about how this is installed. We've got the DRL RGB profile pixel board swap and also RGB fitted halos. And basically they are wired up to the Morimoto 3-channel Bluetooth controller, which is on ignition power. Not running light circuit, but ignition power underneath the hood. Customer did not want it on constant power because he was concerned that he would leave it on. Valid concern. Nobody likes a dead battery in the morning. So what's exciting about this build is that it's going to give me a really awesome opportunity to explain how the Morimoto 3-channel Bluetooth controller operates when installed on a switched power source such as ignition. And because everybody kind of uses their cell phones differently, how it's going to behave is sort of a reflection of that. And understanding how the application works on your phone and how it pairs with the module really helps predict its behavior, so you don't end up sitting there thinking, my app is screwed up or somehow something's not doing what it's supposed to. But it's very predictable when you understand its retarded quirks. So I'm going to start with the most obvious one, which is going to reflect the vehicle modifications that I did today very well. So the current status is that there are no apps open whatsoever, as in the Morimoto app is not running on the phone, it's not in the background, it is not on. The controller is currently powered off because ignition is not on. So basically all RGB capabilities are disabled. And now I'm going to turn on the car. So with the ignition position on, what we're getting is our running light white mode. So everything is going to default to a white output. So this is just to show off that cool halo, as well as these DRLs that are still operational just like the OEMs, but now we have a halo. But again, everything is white, engine running or not right now. This is ignition power. So basically this is his driving mode now. So it is improved looking, although the camera is unfortunately just picking up a bunch of glare, but it is improved. A, we have a halo, and B, the DRLs are a much cleaner, prettier white, in my opinion, but you know, whatever. All right, so now I'm going to turn off the car. Now, these Fords have retained accessory power, which is why I had to open and close the door, which is basically turning off the radio inside and turning off, well, as you saw, several moments later, our DRLs and our halo. All right, so let's do scenario number 2 with the Morimoto app running. So right now we're going to pull that up, and that's going to load. Now, of course, the camera's not going to pick up very well, but it loads up. Currently, the control is in the off position. We are not paired to any devices because, again, the controller does not have power right now, but it has been previously paired to this device. It was the last one that it did, okay? So even though it's not on that list, it does have memory of the last one that it did. So currently 1 and 2 are selected. They're both on red, and I can even put, let's put 1 on green and then reselect 2. So they both have the little white square outlines on them, which I know you can't see because, yeah. But they're both selected and they're on different colors, and we are in the off position. Now let me go turn on the car and do ignition. Now the DRL and the halo are going to power up under the standard white DRL mode like they did the first time. However, the thing is now this app, even though it's not live on the screen, is currently running in the background on my phone. And since it is previously paired with that Bluetooth controller, it is constantly seeking out its previous companion. So as you can see, now we have green and, well, kind of a purpley color. Right now the camera's just blurring it out, but not running. However, if we wake the phone up, it is running, okay? Now, even if it's not actively selected, you can just be on whatever you're doing. You can be playing on Instagram and it's hiding in the background. This is how it's going to behave. Now, an example where this could be a good thing is, for example, this client wants basically a white driving light halo. So I can select the halo and put that on white, and then I can go over to the DRL bars and put them on blue. Since the camera's not picking it up, I'm going to pull us over here and show you that is on blue, that is on white. Get the idea, right? That is what he actually wants to drive around on. So as long as he leaves the app running in that particular arrangement of the icy bars and then the nice cool halo, then all he's got to do is have his phone on him, and when he starts his car, every time it's gonna take 30 seconds, but it's gonna pair on its own as long as it's running in the background, and then turn it into this driving mode. That's fantastic for this particular client in this particular situation, because he's gonna be the type to actively, consciously set it to these settings because that's what he wants. Where this type of feature turns into a problem is when people aren't keeping track of whether or not the app is running in the background, and they put it on something crazy, and then all of a sudden they're driving around and they don't even know that it has preloaded their previous settings of crazy pattern while they were driving. So in order to demonstrate that, I'm going to turn off ignition. Okay, so here's the hypothetical scenario. I'm out in the parking lot with my friends, I'm showing off what my lights can do, right? I'm playing on the app, and then I switch over because like, oh man, big booty hose on Instagram or something like that. Then we go in to eat some dinner, blah, blah, blah. It's like an hour later, you know, basically my phone's just in my pocket doing my thing. I walk back out to the car, I get in the car, we're driving home. And then, oh my goodness, man, my big booty hose are just gonna get me in trouble because it's gonna automatically load that previous setting even though it's not running in the foreground. So if I pull it up, oh, that's where I left it. So the cool part is though, after you get pulled over for doing this, you can turn it in off mode. It will turn them off and then DRL automatically kicks back on. So that is a nice feature. Now the downside in general of using a switched power source is that if you're at a car meet, you have to leave your car in accessory position or an ignition position in order to use the lights. And presumably that's not ideal. You'd rather them on a constant power source or a switched power source. And by switched, I don't mean ignition, I mean an actual switch or button. That way you can lock your car and walk away carefree. So now back to the install itself. If I turn back on the app, of course I'm back in crazy police mode. So I can put both of them somewhere right there. And let me select a nice blue. That's a tealish, you know, I like that color. Of course there's also themes, so that's the color cycle, the fade through. And we got, oh, this one's a solid one for this vehicle, red, white, and blue. So you can just show off your Americana with your Mustang while your headlights change from red, white, and blue. Now, of course, one other really awesome feature about this install is all of these products are, of course, switchback. So this car has a pretty unimpressive turn signal of just one little baby incandescent bulb down there. So now, I hate the fact that that bulb at the bottom is still incandescent. However, I will say the headlights look like a totally kick-ass turn signal now. All of the little glowy, racy, stripey thingamabobs turn signal amber, as well as the halo being a switchback halo. So cool. So much better. I like it. And when you turn off the turn signal, it goes right back to the mode that it was doing. Well, I think that about sums up this install, as well as a lot of additional information that you weren't expecting about the Morimoto 3-channel controller and some of its quirks and how it behaves on a switched power source. One other crazy note that is worth mentioning is, as I said earlier, when I had both channels 1 and 2 selected, so right now if I have them both on green, if I only have the box around 1 when the app is hanging out in the background, and I do that power cycle, it will only change the color of the channel that is selected at that moment. Which is really crazy, finicky little gimmick there, but if you understand that, that allows some pretty unique opportunities as how to preset your car to do exactly what you want as you get into it every time. I guess where that information becomes really important is to not make the mistake of, if you don't have one of the channels selected that you want to start up in a different color, if you accidentally leave it unchecked, then it will not start up. It will just go to the default white. So in this particular client's case, if he wants one to go blue and one to go white, if he accidentally forgets to not have the white channel set as white, if he doesn't have that selected, it's going to go to the default white. So he's not going to have any problems. It's perfect for him. He can't mess that up. But if he doesn't select the blue channel, then it won't go to blue. It's going to go to white. So as long as you're aware of that little quirk, it's absolutely no problem, because it's pretty easy to keep track of whether or not you've got your little channel selected. Vehicle, product, and pricing information and contact information is all going to be in the video description down below. Click on that, read all that. If you want a build request, please email or call. Other than that, just have yourselves a wonderful afternoon. I know I am. This is 13 with Superior Mobile by 13. I'll talk to you later. See ya.